Small changes make a big impact. Just an increase of 33 degrees Fahrenheit or 1 degree Celsius over 4 weeks can trigger the bleaching of coral in the Great Barrier Reef. This means that coral are sick, hungry, and vulnerable, and can only become healthy again if the temperatures are returned to normal, all from only 1 degree Celsius. Hello, my name is Julianne Elam, and I'm a junior and an environmental advocate. In particular, Americans use each year about 10,800 kilowatt hours per year. Combined with driving and transportation and food and other homes, productions, Americans contribute about 16 tons of carbon per year. To put this into perspective, 10,800 kilowatt hours is the same amount as charging an electric bus at full capacity 54 times. And the average average human being only contributes about 4 tons of carbon, not 16. Multiply that by how many American households there are and how many Americans there are, that's a big number. Our everyday actions lead to increased carbon emissions and global warming. However, the situation often seems hopeless. With the constant news cycle of increasing temperatures and the coral bleaching mentioned earlier, it's hard to feel like you, as an individual, can make any contribution into lessening those effects. In fact, ever since you were little and leaving a room, you're most likely told one thing: turn off the lights. However, nowadays, it isn't actually effective to do so as much. With CFLs, or chlorophorescent light bulbs, instead of incandescent, it's actually more efficient to keep them on for the short periods when we're leaving a room. Like if you're going to grab a quick snack really quickly and you're about to come back. The light bulb basically gets stressed. Think about it like when you're charging up your phone. Each time you charge it back up to 100, it becomes a little bit less efficient. I was very shocked reading this article, as doing a daily habit I thought was actually helping the environment, actually helping reduce carbon emissions, was not. So this led me to the question: is everything we're doing in our daily lives to be more energy efficient, save money, reduce carbon emissions? Is it even helpful? Is it even worth it? What ways can we actually save more electricity? And how does electricity usage connect to climate change, its impacts, and other issues? Well, first, electricity usage is actually linked to water. Energy sources that make energy, a form of electricity, actually all use water. Very obviously, hydropower uses water to turn a turbine to generate electricity. But nuclear power uses it too, to use steam from the fusion process that is, again, used to turn a turbine and generate electricity. But even solar panels use water. About 20 gallons of water may be used for each megawatt of solar to clean the panels for maximum energy production. And if you look at this graph, in part with information from the U.S. Energy Information Administration, you can see that every source, to some extent, needs water in order to get to your home. And using an excessive amount of water when we could be using less isn't the best idea, since only 1.2% of total water, as many of you know, can be used as fresh drinking water. In addition, electricity usage also causes carbon emissions. About 30% of carbon dioxide emissions are from fossil fuel combustion in the U.S. 24% of greenhouse gas emissions are from carbon dioxide in the U.S. And this makes sense, since 60% of our electricity in the U.S. is made from fossil fuels. That's adding carbon to our atmosphere. So as many of you know, the carbon is added to the atmosphere and the ocean, which then increases temperatures. Global warming. Global warming then changes heat patterns, which is climate change. It causes increased drought and severity of storms and other harmful consequences. So now we know about the consequences. So what's actually part of what is leading to that? So now we have to look at our electricity usage. So first, we all know, well, no, we all know, more efficient systems are helpful and really good ways to reduce the amount of electricity usage and the amount of money that you're spending. However, I wanted to focus on daily habits, everyday actions that you could do in your daily lives. First, think about all the appliances you have in your homes. Vacuums, coffee makers, TVs, the list just seems to go on and on. Now, I want you to think about all your devices. TVs, tablets, watches, fitness, smartwatches, phones, the list just seems to go on and on. Now really, just think about it. There's all of these devices and all of these appliances in your house. So first, let's focus on our appliances. By unplugging your appliances when not in use, you can reduce electricity used. The electricity used when an appliance is plugged in but not in use is called phantom or vampire energy. For example, the phantom load of 2 computers, 2 chargers, and 1 cable modem over a year is $36 in 2018. And for a microwave and a coffee maker, it's equivalent to a 9-watt light bulb for a whole year, or $4 in 2018. Oh, that's not that much. But if you actually adjust the price for inflation and multiply it by how many devices you have in your house, that number just seems to grow and grow. Now for our devices. By using your devices less and reducing your screen time, you'll actually save the electricity that is needed to charge those devices. And by using natural lighting instead of overhead lights, you're going to be saving that energy and be more environmentally friendly. And in addition, also make sure, still turn your light bulbs off and check the type. An LED is not going to be affected by the same frequent turning off and turning on that a chlorophorescent light bulb or a CFL will be. For CFLs, use the 15-minute rule. If you're going to leave the room for more than 15 minutes, say you're walking your dog, instead of quickly grabbing a snack, turn the lights off. This past decade, we've seen that small changes really do lead to big impacts. In fact, that's how climate change and global warming have started, from small changes over time. However, we can do the exact opposite. By changing our daily electricity usage patterns, we can reduce the impacts of climate change and of carbon emissions. So, use natural lighting, reduce screen time, unplug appliances in order to conserve or save more energy. Thank you.